It's time to get to rock and rolling with the LEM components. One just kind of quick mention, this trigger bar will kind of float around on you. If it happens to float around right, this little silver piece I'm pointing to right here, I'm actually going to take that out and show you what it looks like. It's a spring with a little metal holder on the end, and if you turn it upside down, sometimes this shoots out and then you almost get it assembled and can't figure out why it doesn't work. Okay, this is what it looks like. Goes down in that little hole right in there. Make sure that spring is in there with the keeper on the end. Make sure that trigger bar stays against the right side. You can actually see it and hear it where it actually clicks in place, and just confirm by pushing on the right side. And when you push down, that trigger bar should always spring up. So if any time during the assembly or disassembly that that comes out, you know, just keep an eye on it. Okay, now we're going to get the LEM pieces together. We're going to start with the LEM hammer, and this is very important, the way that the LEM hammer is oriented. It's not crystal clear in the USP instructions, so hopefully I'll be able to make it a little more clear. We have the LEM hammer assembly, and you have the hammer, the cocking piece, and you'll have a spring that goes on there as well. The hammer, the orientation is not super clear in the instructions that come with the USP. This is what you need to do. This is the left side. This is the right side. Right side has the extra geometry on the bottom. So you want this facing left. See how the hammer, the geometry up here is? This is facing the front. This is facing the back. The cocking piece. One side, or one area of it, is filled in with material, solid. On the other side there's a groove. You want the groove facing down. So this is your hammer facing the left side. Here is your cocking piece, the groove facing down, but there's a special piece of material on the cocking piece, and this is important because you can actually put it together incorrectly. So that little nub there, that faces the left side. So hammer facing the left, cocking piece facing the left with the groove on the bottom. You insert those together. Now this is where the grease comes in. These will fall apart easy. I believe, I forget the gentleman's name on HK Pro that suggested grease, but that's a great idea. It's good to have it in there anyway, but this holds it all together. So I have just a little bit of my Mow tool super grease used for thrust bearings and things like that on my RC helicopters. Just put a little bit of that around there. What that's going to do, that's going to hold it in place. And now I have the cocking piece spring that also needs to be held in place. Now the cocking piece spring has little legs. Now the legs, the ends of the legs face the right. So this is still the left side. Once again, I'm going to put a little dab of grease on the outside edge of the hammer to hold the spring in place. Right there and there. And if you, let me bring this up, see how I put it. That one leg of the spring is right against the hammer. The other leg of the spring will be facing parallel to the muzzle. I'm going to get the frame over here and we'll continue. Okay, now it's time to install the LEM hammer assembly. So I have my frame. I have the LEM hammer axle out of the kit. We're going to put it on the right side of the frame. Right there. There's a little keyway. Keyway faces the bottom. Now we're not sticking it all the way in. What we're going to do is we're going to push it slightly, get it started. We're going to push down on the trigger bar. Just just a little bit to get it started, and just kind of hold it in place. Now we're going to carefully grab the hammer assembly and stick it in there with all the components. Hopefully the grease will hold it together. I'm looking through this hole to make sure I'm aligned. I'm kind of push down. Now you can see it's coming through there. Make sure this keyway, mine rotated on me. Rotate it back. Push it through. It's flush here. Everything's good to go here. Now I'll go back and replace that hammer strut. Push it up. You can actually see through the top that it goes right in that groove of the cocking piece. Probably can't see because of the poor lighting. Push it in place until you feel it go in place, and to keep it from falling out, I go ahead and just, this is what I do. I put the hammer spring on. This is not exactly in the order as the instructions. I put the lockout device on. Push it through just to the first hole. That's not going to take a lot of force. Just push it through. Just stick the little roll pin in there just to hold it for the time being. And that way this will not come out. It's indexed properly. Okay, so now our LEM hammer assembly is in there. That took a lot longer to explain than it actually does just to install it.